Hello and welcome to the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. My name is Harry Durham. Big weekend of Euro Tour action. Listen, Stephen Bunting, 2 competitions in a row. Who would have thought it? But listen, I don't want to go into Stephen Bunting. I want to congratulate him. He's 40 this week. But there's a lot of things that we need to kind of dissect off of the weekend in Riesa in Germany. A few statements that we need to discuss, and I'm pleased to say, as always, got my partner in crime with me, Colin Lloyd, 2-time major winner and former world number 1. Cole, how are we?
I'm very good, thanks, Harry. How are you?
I'm all good, thanks, mate. It's just a few things over the weekend that have just been playing on my mind and bugging me. First of all, Luke Humphries, world number 1, getting a lot of, I'd say, a lot of people overreacting to some of the statements that he made. So to bring people up to speed, if you didn't watch the Euro Tour, if you weren't on social media over the weekend, some people like to have sabbaticals, so like to have breaks from that. So after beating Dirk van Dijvenbode, Humphries had this to say off the back of the win in Riesa. I feel a bit emotionless. I feel like I'm up here and my emotions are all over the place. It's not that I don't want to be here, it just seems a chore for me at the moment. I'm playing too much, I need to give something away, I need a break. It's not good for my mental state. So there was a bit of social media backlash that came off the back of that. Obviously, the PDC had posted it. I mean, darts channels would have posted it, and everyone, every man and his dog, woman, child, whoever would have had their opinion on it. Then, fast forward to Sunday, ahead of his quarterfinal with Vessel Nyman, Luke Humphries tweeted out, considering the comments, people not understanding what I meant, this would be the last time I ever confess my real feelings to the public. Everything I say or do just never seems to be good enough for anybody. As long as no one complains when we're all given the same answers in interviews like robots and not our true feelings, then everyone, I guess, will be happy, or usually will still find a way to moan about us. Cole, I have my opinions about this as well, and there's still another statement that I need to bring up, because after Gezi was knocked out by Nathan Aspinall, Gezi took to Instagram and said, gutted to lose today, but so happy to be on the way home. Too much darts at the moment, playing so well. I mean, Rob Cross dropped out from not feeling 100% at the Euro Tour. Luke Littler didn't participate. Are we seeing an issue of everything that these players are putting in, especially the top players, in the sense of the Premier League, the Euro Tour, and the Pro Tour as well? Are we seeing a real case of burnout with these top players?
A little bit, yeah. It's not the darts, Harry. You know, the guys are dart players. They're professional dart players, and what fantastic dart players they are. It's the travelling in between. It's tiring. You go, Harry, from yes, they were already in Germany, but you've still got to make your way from Berlin to Riesa, and then from Riesa, like Stephen Bunting. Stephen Bunting don't ever pull out of anything. Luke Humphries never pulls out of anything really. He is someone who is committed to the tour. He tries to play everything. Um, but Stephen Bunting and those guys yesterday that were in the last 8 and semi-finals and whatever, they've now got to make their way back from Riesa. I just said it was too late yesterday, so they've got to make their way back today, Harry, to start playing in a Pro Tour tomorrow or Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, there's a certain 8 players got to make their way from Leicester, from competing, to Manchester and be preparing for a Premier League. The rewards are great. The darts is great, but it does get tiring. It does get tiring. It does get a bit taxing when you feel as though you're not getting a break. Yeah, I feel for Luke Humphries. I mean, he is someone that he is committed to the tour. He does play the tour. And he's obviously feeling it a little bit at the minute, Harry. You know, we speak about it, don't we, on Fridays, that his body language doesn't look great and everything at the minute. And do you know what? If Luke Humphries wants to have a little break, he doesn't have to justify that to anyone. He's been on the go now, Harry, for like 2 years solid. That's why he's 2-3 years solid. That's why he's the world number 1. That's why he's bagged umpteen major championships. And he doesn't have to pander to the needs of the darting fans. I'm sorry if the darting fans feel offended by that, but I'm afraid that's just the way it
But
is.
why
The
would
guys,
that's what I don't understand. I can't get my head around it because why are you kicking off about a bloke saying that it's a chore? I need a break. It's not good for my mental state because
mm,
all of those people will feel the same. They'll take their holidays to Ibiza and they'll take their monthly
yeah,
annual leave. A lot of
yeah,
them. I mean, I get burnt out from just working. Like it happens. I travel a lot with work. Even though I'm not playing darts, I
mm,
use my voice for a living.
mm,
And, I'm currently going through a case of burnout right now. But for people to slag him off and to say, you know what, do you know what? I've actually got a few screenshots here that I took last night because I was so just confused by what people were replying to him and saying. So imagine, so this is one guy, Horatio Nelson. It's probably a bot on Twitter. Imagine if he actually worked for a living. Good one. What a lazy attitude. Brilliant. Strange attitude. Brilliant. Yeah, all really good opinions there, and they're probably just bots on social media. But
mm,
I mean, come on now, like these players are traveling, all that they're traveling, they're putting so much on the line. They're away from
mm,
their families. Like I've mentioned before, Stephen Bunting, he's got a young lad, he's got two young lads. Obviously, I think his son Tobias is like 12 or 13. He's had a newborn over the last couple of months, and the bloke's away from his family. Luke Humphries got a very young son. He's got his missus at the same time as well. He's just moved into a new gaff. He's got all of these other things. And I go back to the thing that Jason Thames said to me a couple of months ago. They need to be human beings at the same time. And I mean, I know darts can probably be seen as like a roadshow and stuff like that, but
mm.
they are in some ways the sporting modern day rock stars because football aren't that same thing as well. But I think cut them some slack a little bit. And social media is just such a cesspit as well. And for Luke Humphries to come out and say, do you know what? I'm not speaking about my feelings to the public anymore. I thought he did the right thing. I really do think he did the right thing. I mean, he's allowed to show some emotions for God's sake.
He's getting punished for coming out and being honest. Do you not get
But
it, Harry? Sometimes.
in a world though that now it's so free to speak about your
Mm,
mental health and your burnout and stuff like that. I thought everything was all right to be discussed, but there seems to be a few people, and like I mentioned, they're probably bots at the same time who have just taken it the wrong way. And I
mm.
mean, they're going to be taking their holiday in Ibiza or going to Turkey or something like that. So why is the world number one not allowed to have a bit of time off or speak about how hectic the schedule is? It's mental to me.
Harry, do you know what? It's funny, you see, because when I used to get these confrontations with people on social media, and I used to get the try doing a real day's work. Yeah, I used to get up at 5 in the morning to travel in a
Mm.
van to go to work for 2 hours, and then I'd hump my backside on a building site all day to get back in said work van at 4:30, 4:45 in the afternoon, early evening, to go back home. And I was world number one at the time, Harry. I won the World
Mm.
Grand Prix and went straight back on the building site.
Yeah.
So they can't get away with it with me. Listen, it's tough. It is tough out there. It is tough out there. But like I said, Luke Humphries, Gerwyn Price, Nathan Aspinall, Rob Cross, all of them, Luke Littler, they don't need to justify their actions to anyone. And the only ones that are going to lose out, Harry, will be the fans.
Mm.
Because someone, especially like Luke Humphries, I'm using Luke Humphries because he's the guy who we're talking about and he's the world number one. He's someone that has always got time for the fans. He's someone that will gladly stand there, sign some autographs, smile on his face and whatever, have a couple of photos. You'll push him too far one day and he'll just say no, no. And they'll all be waiting there patiently. He'll just go out of a side door into a car and off he'll go.
Yeah, imagine
I'm
if
not.
it gets to that point. That would be like because obviously we both know Luke spent a lot of time with Luke, and he is one of the nicest
Hmm,
people on the circuit. They're all as good as gold.
hmm,
But I mean, me and Luke have spoken openly in interviews and off camera and stuff like that as well. But for him to say I'm not going to be revealing anything personally, it's like, I mean, from a selfish point of view, it's kind of like, well, even though me and Luke have such a good relationship, I'm probably going to be getting a robotic interview now because of all of these people that have just been offended by a man speaking about his emotions and his feelings.
Do you know what, mate? For me as well, why should he tell anyone anything that's personal to him? Don't tell anyone nothing. Give him nothing. Give him Luke. Give him Cool Hand Luke Humphries, the dart player. What goes on behind the scenes has got absolutely nothing whatsoever to the general public. Me, you, anybody who works at Sky, ITV, where it's broadcast, anywhere. It's got nothing to do with anyone. Luke Humphries' private life. He let something out of the bag as to how he was feeling, and for people to jump on it, for him admitting his honest, true feelings, you're never going to get it again. He is that sort of person as well, I think, that, he was being open and honest, and he's been caned for it. Well, for me, Harry, I love it that people are being open and honest with me, because that's how you move along in life. Be open and honest with me, and we're going to get along just fine. He's been open and honest about it, and like you say, you've got some bots just come back at him and caned him, and for no reason really, no reason whatsoever.
I mean, we don't want to get to a point, especially if you think about, obviously Luke's 30 now. You don't want to get to a point where a couple of years down the line he just goes, "Oh, I can't be bothered with this anymore," and he jacks it in early. I'd like to think that he wouldn't be that character, but I mean, if people are going to constantly be hammering him, and of course we've spoken about his play and being unable to secure serious trebles over the last couple of weeks, and he hasn't won a Premier League night over the last couple of weeks as well. And I think it's all telling, Cole. I think it's all telling that what we said about Luke Humphries is, I think the man is going for a serious bout of burnout. I think he needs not like a Michael Smith, like a year away. I mean, financially he's going to be fine. How much really is the Pro Tour and the Euro Tour going to affect his rankings?
Well, it can. It's good money, Harry. We spoke about the financial side of things on the last podcast. Financially, they're good. They're good buildings, good brickwork for your ranking. But like I said, he's always been someone that supports the tour for it all. But maybe it is time for him now to have a little sit down with his management at Modus and say, have a different game plan. Skip a couple of events, not big TV events. Skip a couple of events. Do like Michael Van Gerwen does. Spend some time with your family. Go somewhere. Listen, even if he says to the missus, listen, let's get ourselves packed up and let's just go to, I'm just saying this for instance, let's go to Portugal for 10 days. Let's go for a nice all-inclusive hotel in Portugal, relax, chill out. I can just unwind, leave my darts at home, forget about it, and then rest and recuperate, get back, hit the ground running, Harry. Hit the ground running again. He'll be refreshed, recharged, and he'll be back at it again. But only Luke Humphries can do that. He's the one that has to make that decision. At the end of the day, he has to justify to one person, Harry, and that's the person he looks at in the mirror every single morning. That's the only person he has to justify what he does to.
How far can it go though, Cole? Because say, for instance, he doesn't take that break, and you probably would have been there before in your career, where you know that you're so burnt out, you don't take the break, and then everything seems to capitulate on the oche.
Well, it can do. It possibly would do. I think we've seen little bits of it, Harry, haven't we? The shaking of the head and the, and smiling. Oh, well done. Yeah, like that. Luke never used to do that. He never used to do that because he believed in his own ability and what he can achieve and what he can do. At this moment in time, I just think, yes, he's possibly just getting a little bit ragged. He's getting down on himself. He's getting disappointed in himself because he perhaps feels that one minute there's a bit of brilliance and then all of a sudden there's a lot of ordinary stuff. and that's not him. That's not what he does, and that's not what he's about. And so perhaps it is just it has got to a point now, Harry. Is he going to say to himself, "Do you know what? I do need a break." I mean, the PDC have got to be a little bit worried here as well, Harry, because it might get to a point where the match play comes along, plays the match play, and then they go to Australia and New Zealand. Well, he might turn around and say, "Nah, do you know what? No, I'm having August at home. I'm having August at home with the missus and the little one. I'm not going." And then what do they do? You can't not have the world number one not going. And listen, it's a possibility. Maybe also for me, Harry, come off of social media for a bit. Come off of social media for a bit. You know, listen, he's got his fans. We're not caning everyone that's on social media. He's got his fans. Of course, he's got his fans. But then you've got people that have put 25p on an 85 way bloody accumulator of some sort, and he's had a bad day at the office, and so they've lost 25p. Well, be gamble aware, everyone. If you can't afford to lose the 25p, don't gamble it. And not being funny, you're going to get that. People have got their... People always think, Harry, when it comes to gambling, oh, that's my banker. That's my banker. There's no such thing in sport, Harry. You know that. You follow the sport. You work for talkSPORT. You follow various sports. There's nothing, no such thing as a guarantee. Nothing. And so, if he does have a bad day at the office, we're not used to seeing him have a bad day at the office, but it's got a little bit too familiar now where he hasn't been at his brilliant, consistent best. There's been a couple of flaws, and he's been punished for it. But again, Harry, as well, that's sport, isn't it? That's what makes sport so great. So just sit back and enjoy the sport. Enjoy the sport of darts. Enjoy Luke Humphries. He's a lovely fella. Just cut him a little bit of slack. Cut him a little bit of slack, because him of all people, he doesn't deserve to be harassed like that on social media. He doesn't deserve it.
No, I agree, and I'd love to see these people, travel as much as these players do and put up with the performances that they do at the same time as well. Because I'd like to say that, especially when Martin Schindler was playing last night, and that German crowd, obviously, it went a bit flat when... I thought the final was a bit flat for it, but when you're up against it at a big arena, I'd like to see these people pick up 3 darts and go onto the stage and see how they would perform.
Yeah, the thing is as well, mate, is a lot of people look at it. Oh, you off again, Colin? You off again? You off again? This is me in my prime. I went, yeah, but I'm going to work. Well, yeah, tough old job, innit? You've got to go to Montreal, then on to Saskatoon. I went, if I'm going there for a jolly up, I said it's going to be a very expensive jolly up with flights, hotels, entry fees, food, drink, everything. I said, if I treat it as a jolly up, I said I wouldn't bother going. I said, not just going to town with me brothers and me mates. This is the thing, Harry. Everybody thinks you're living a life. Yeah, you're having a jolly up. If you ever get that creep into your head, Harry, and get that creeping into your game, stop, because firstly, it's going to cost you an awful lot of money. Secondly, you are going to achieve nothing. They're going there doing, all of the players, not just Luke, all of the players are doing all this travelling, whether it be in the United Kingdom or around Germany, around the world, wherever. They're going there for their professional living. That's their job. And that's all they're trying to do. And it catches up with you. Being in the car, being on the train, being on a plane, even just laying in bed in a hotel room, Harry.
Yep.
You're in an alien land that you're not used to being in. Yes, you've been there umpteen times, but you're still in a foreign country, another hotel, another different bed. And it just becomes taxing, mate. And it does get to you a little bit. So I can see as and why he's sort of like told the world how he's feeling. Perhaps next time, no, tell them nothing. Tell no one nothing. Tell the people around you, the people that are around you, your unit basically, your go-to people. Chat with them. Chat with them. Chat with an old sod like me, who's been around and done it. And if he ever wanted to have a chat with me, just a quiet little chat, our own private little chat over a coffee and a bit of pastry or something, I'd be more than happy to have a chat with him. It's hard, Harry. It's hard. It's hard, mate, because you're not in a team. You're on your own. Yes, he'll possibly have someone travelling with him, and you have people you travel with. But it gets tiring and it gets draining, and it gets to a point where you're struggling a little bit, and you think to yourself, especially him, he's probably thinking, "Joe, what? I'd just love to be at home with the missus and the little one."
Mm.
And you shouldn't be thinking that because you're at work. And so it is tough. It is hard, not just for Luke, but for everyone else as well. It is taxing mentally, physically, financially. But listen, if I was him, I'd be saying to Luke, listen, mate, if ever you're feeling like that again, just, especially his management, just bring Jason up and have a 10-minute with him, you know.
Yeah.
Get it out of your system. Don't go like that. If you know what I mean, you know. No one's business. No one's business. No one's business, Harry. You may be.
No one's business but your own.
Exactly, yeah. And like I said, I keep saying it, Harry, and I keep reiterating it. You know, you need to enjoy these people. Enjoy these people. Enjoy the way they play darts. They are entertainers. They're really nice people, and they make time for you. They make time for you. Do you want to harass them that much that they say, "I ain't got time. I ain't got time. I ain't got time"? And you know, I'm not saying it would get like that, Harry, but some people might tell you where to get off, and some people, "No, I ain't got time for any of you lot anymore." You know. So, but listen, he's vented his frustrations. And listen, he'll take a step back. He'll have assessed it. He'll have assessed what he wrote, and he's either going to stick by it, or he might still carry on as before. Only time will tell.
Cole, thank you so much for your time, mate, on this Monday morning. I'll speak to you again on Friday for talkSPORT off the back of Manchester. I mean, it's going to be big. Stephen Bunting won in Berlin. They won in Riesa. Could he do the three-peat? Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like and subscribe just down below. Keep up to date with everything that's going on in the darting world right here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel.